Today is a day like it's a day was today, the other day. Today is a day like tomorrow will. Once you cross the line bends. Whether black or white, the gray blends. If you see the signs that God sends, I got blood in my eye, I need lens. If the blood should wash away sins, then what I see should make some clean ends. Made some wins and lost some old friends. Old story, I need some new friends. Give me pound, I give you my 2 cents. Another round for the ladies and the gents. Used to have friends, haven't heard since. We can make ends then, maybe make amends. You ain't going there standing on the fence. I was young back then in my defense. Now I changed, I'm a little less tense. I'm grown and my brain is more dense.
5 is good.
Wow. Cool.
Nah, the emoji guy.
Yeah, talk to him real quick. Talk to him real quick. Gang.
Wait, so you'll hit me back tomorrow?
Yeah.
Alright, sure.
You got. Let me give you my number.
Gee, what are you sending me shit on WhatsApp if you don't got my number?
No, I don't. Oh, you just sent to phone number. And the C-Bank as many as those guys. You have to manually put in the number.
Bruh.
How does yours work? Like, I mean, I have to put in.
This is home.
I have to put in numbers like manually.
Nah, like bruh. You've been sending me all that shit by WhatsApp, but you're telling me you don't got my number. I mean, third.
Yo, what am I talking?
Cloud what? This is beyond Cloud 9.
I don't want to be part of it.
I ain't drank in 7 days, fam. My guy, man, we got buy out there with Santa and send my money now. I said, man, I told God I ain't drinking for a year. Just give me what I want.
I talk about sacrifice, bro.
My G, I'm at the altar, but nobody says sacrificing my alcohol. But I see you. Did I rule on the visit about Bandawe? Alright, we're at 20 minutes.
I said, and I'm getting back to the game.
Yeah, buy that.
Thing about me is I got 2 types of thought processes. One happens at the speed of sound, the other happens at the speed of light, and usually I think I'm a better person with the speed of sound decisions because I take my time to decide. But the speed of light ones, that's when I make all these mistakes, man, especially on social media when you see me do that.
I'ma be on MTV, mama. I'ma put it down.
That's a difficult one.
Straight, so,
Wait. Find a vegetable bowl. I heard in a hurry, I said.
okay, so this is how it's gonna work, right?
Yeah. You said it's a feature that everybody has on the Insta. Like I got it right now.
Yeah, it's a new feature. If you're gonna check your Instagram right now, you're gonna check out. You're gonna find a new feature called Insta TV, where you're gonna run your vlogs. So if you're running a reality thing that you want people to follow up on, other than that live thing, because some people might miss a video and it's gone, right?
What about your Instagram? The posts don't get deleted like
24 hours.
Oh, this one is 24 hours too.
No. The live thing is 24 hours. But the Insta TV's content, I can go there and check out, like the way you handle YouTube.
Oh, they already got a live issue.
Yeah, they already have a live. We can go live now on Instagram and tell people what we're up to. You know what I mean? And they'll be there in real time, watching what we're doing in real time as a live feed.
So me, I go on this issue.
You know.
And I post pictures and videos and I leave.
Yeah, so
I can do it before.
Yeah.
Also, you mean if I do this, like adding something?
Yeah.
Let me not do this driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen is that with the Insta TV, you're gonna treat it like a channel, right? So you're gonna have content, like things you've been up to the whole week. You know what I'm trying to say?
Meaning when I was at those UN meetings, I could have been.
Yeah, you could have been
like with the robot and stuff.
Live.
Not the way I was posting.
Nah, but
like
you, in real time, like yo niggas, check this out. I'm at the UN meeting and these are the robots and stuff in real time, and it shows you how many viewers you have, just like Facebook, right? The Facebook live thing. So you're gonna have people commenting in real time.
Hey, thanks for new boost. Nobody get a boy. I said. Nice one, Jerry. Oscar, you had do with your cash, eh? Yeah. Alright. Jump us 5. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So, well, you're gonna have.
That's right.
Yeah. So you're gonna have people view your post in real time. You can get to comment, you know. Oh, I think I was caught up.
I didn't actually see any signs that Mandela would grow up to be a musician, because I didn't see it. No. Of course, I remember the time that we came back from the UK in 1986. We brought some videos. That time we'd have music videos, and I remember the Billy Ocean and all that. And most of the time he would ask for those to view. And the time that comes for them to view those videos, he would actually ask his younger brother. That time I think there were 2 of them, and the third one was a baby. So he would actually perform, make fun of what they were actually watching, and you could see that he was able even to sing the songs that he was actually performing. So he was like performing with his younger brother, and to us as the parents, they would actually maybe even dress up. Yeah. So that's all I could remember about him, music. But he also liked, in the UK, we had a friend that had a guitar. So that guitar, he never wanted to part with it. So we threw away some of the things that we had there when coming because of weight, but we made sure to bring the guitar.
I can't lie, man. There's nothing pleasant about working with me. If I was me, I wouldn't want to work with me. You feel me? I don't take orders from nobody. I like giving orders. If you're working with me, I don't like yes man, but I also want everybody to say yes to me. It's kind of confusing even to myself. I believe in precision and timing. If anybody ain't on point, they get chopped and dropped. I'd rather do it myself, but I also want to work with team. So that's my decisions as a team leader always.
Reports like Mandela Mwanza and they're man and his this is why I'm walking around camera, because nobody respects my good heart. When I'm trying to bring kids together so I can perform for them for the first time and tell them about SDGs. And Piermon tells me you're doing this on a CSR level. CSR is not about sales, it's corporate social responsibility. You're giving these kids this venue so Mandela can make their day. Don't tell me about selling alcohol, G. Do not.
What can I say about pressure? Everybody knows how pressure feels. When it's on, it's on. But for me, I'm not even being arrogant, man. When the pressure's on, I always tell myself one thing. I might crack, but I won't cave in. Word to God. And like my little brother Hayze would say, pressure makes diamonds.
First time I met Third Eye has to be... First time I met him as an artist has to be 2007 when he released his debut album called Imagine Being Jesus and Not Knowing It. That was the first time I met the guy as an artist, because I was like, who comes up with an album title like that, right? But the first time I met him personally has to be in 2013, 2014. We, as homegrown, we were on tour with Coca-Cola, so we're coming from Zuzu, and we made a stop in El, so we got a call from him, and we ended up at his house somehow, and he ended up hosting us for like 1 week. You know, that's the type of person Third is. You know, we stayed at his for 1 week, we chilled, talked music, and basically we just touched base, and we've been close ever since.
That was kind of, I don't know, what should I say? It was epic. Knowing somebody in 2 different ways, you know? It's like knowing Batman and knowing Bruce Wayne. You know what I'm saying? But you know Bruce Wayne, but you don't know he's Batman? And then you find out that Batman is Bruce Wayne is Batman? I mean, that's, oh, whew. It was epic, man.
The difference between Third Eye and Mandela is Third Eye is a perfectionist, right? So he's all about the work, he's all about his music, he's all about his craft. And Mandela is an easy guy, you know. When you meet him, when you know him as Mandela. He's very warm. He's a very warm guy, you know, and he's a very smart guy. He's a very intelligent guy. So the difference between the two is Mandela is more chilled out, you know, and Third Eye, when his Third Eye, he's just a different character. He's just a different person, right? He's all about it. He's all about the music. So you can actually tell when he's in the studio, you know that he's switched. When you walk out the studio, he's a different guy. Yo, let's go grab something to eat. Yo, let's go chill here and there. Let's go this way. You know, so I feel like Third is a perfectionist and Mandela is just a down-to-earth guy.
I mean, to me, he's always been my big brother. Since I met him, he was just that friend who was there for me and was there for me creatively as well. I think when he met me, actually, he was like, you know, you're going to be great. You're going to be something amazing. And he saw a light in me that maybe I feel like at the time I thought only I saw in me. And he gave me that faith in myself and that, I guess, belief. So, yeah, I guess I don't really know the difference between Third Eye and Mandela. I think people know the artist. I would say the difference is that he's the artist, and then there's Mandela Mwanza, who is the human being and the creative, what happens before you see him on stage. So I guess Third Eye is the one who comes out on stage, and that's what most people get to experience. I've only experienced what happens behind the stage, so that's who I know the most. But I've been able to see like videos and whatnot, but I can't really relate to that person because I feel like that's more for the art. I know the human being.
I don't know. I think there's a little difference between Third Eye and Mandela, because he's a pretty outspoken person. So in the social medias and whatnot, he's an open book. So a lot of people, they know Third Eye, but to know Mandela, you'd have to sit down with him, have a conversation with him, and see where his mind is at. That's a lot of people have not gotten that chance.
Say the worst thing would be that he fluctuates. I guess I can say that. You never really know what side of Mandela you're gonna get. So like I said, there is a very caring side. Very warm-hearted and whatever, but when I guess things get rough, he has a short temper, so he will get angry, he will go overboard. There's been a couple of times he's actually blocked me on WhatsApp because I said something that he didn't like. He would like, screw your entire, and he goes off. I have learned to give him space when he needs it, but yeah, that can be pretty rough when you get to experience that other side of him, because then it's so different from the kind-hearted person that he is. Yeah, so I think that's the worst, the erraticness, and you never know what you're gonna get.
Mandela Mwanza's character is an aggressive character, you know. He's a go-getter. He's very spirited. You know, there's times I've seen his career from like I said, from 07 to like this is 2020. You know, he's had his ups and downs, but he always seems to come back harder, you know, and that's something that I've learned to respect, I've learned to love, and I've learned to appreciate.
He has a strong opinion in his own nature. He has a strong opinion, and before he's able to listen to others, his opinion has to move fast. He's very fast, and he wants to be heard quickly. And with that, I feel he has he wants to disseminate his strong opinion, and in the end, it's like he's actually surpassing others when you're talking to him, because he wants to emphasize on something, and sometimes he can actually raise a tone, and you'd think maybe he's sort of like angry, but maybe he's taking after me. I do the same thing. I raise a tone to emphasize on something.
The worst thing about Mandela Mwanza's character is his short fuse. He has a temper on him. But yeah, man, he has a really, he wants things to get done right when he wants things to get done right. He doesn't play around. So yeah, man, I think that's his patience. He has a really short fuse. That's him.
I wouldn't say that he was a problem child. Socially, he fitted in well in the community, but I remember in his adolescence, when he was 14, that's the time that his late father had a stroke and he had lost his speech. That's the time I think maybe he didn't take it very well because he was very close to his father. And I feel he was affected because he went into a rebellion. And that's what I can actually say, that having had a problem child was at that particular time that he was pretty much having challenges to settle in school, and for the time that until he finished his O levels.
So I'm gonna take you back a little bit on this one. I knew Mandela Mwanza before I knew Third Eye, right? And when I knew Mandela Mwanza, I didn't know that he could rap. He was just that kid, because we were both young that time in our hood, in the neighborhood of Area 12 here in Lilongwe City. You know, he was just that guy who liked to read a lot, you know what I'm saying? He was just that guy who loved books, right? So, when I started my international DJ hustle on radio and whatnot, I was always about promoting hip-hop, because I love hip-hop. I am hip-hop. So I got a couple of audios from my younger brother, right? Because he was based here that time. So he was like, you know, you should be playing this on your show. This is what, you know, the youngins, the youth are releasing out there in Lilongwe. I'm like, all right, safe. And then I came across Third Eye stuff. And it just blew my mind. Like, whoa, like, who this? That's Third Eye. Like, who Third Eye? He's like, yo, that's Mandela. I'm like, what? That's who? That's Mandela. What? The guy who loves reading, what, the library guy? He was like, yeah, man, that's him.
What stood out about Mandela growing up as a child was his passion for books. He used to like reading books, and he used to also like to listen to stories and storybook, especially at bedtime stories. That time we were in the UK, and he was the only child. With his late father, he would actually buy him books, those thick books, and sometimes, and later on, he was even asking for books when he was in the bath. So we used to buy even books that were plastic for him to read books, and then you would actually talk about them. And also that when he was growing up, I felt he was a child that read a lot of books, and even in school, when he was about 8, I remember that there was a test on words for opposite, and for 2 classes, he was the only one who got it right. An opposite word for friend, meaning for. And I also remember that he read the Bible, maybe within, if not in days, it must have been only a week. So the time he was growing up, the things that I remember mostly were also about him looking after his siblings. He was very protective. And every time he would make sure that his siblings are okay. And that's what I remember about him.
Third Eye is the industry, you know. Third Eye actually is the industry. Like, without Third Eye, there is no industry, if you want to put it like that. From what he has done, what he has achieved, what he is, what he has been, and what he will be, this guy literally is the industry. Like, to go into precision of detail on that one, because I used to, and I'm still hosting the only hip-hop show on Malawi radio, right? So if you, from that time on, if you don't play Third Eye, you know, then you were off duty that day, you know? People will ask you, like, what happened that time? That was before we had all these Seratos and whatnot, when it was just CDs and tapes, man, you know? That time here in Malawi, we didn't have Serato in 2002 or 2003. So you wouldn't play a Third Eye track. People will call you after the show like, yo, What, you forgot the Third Eye CD? What's your problem, man? Requests coming through all the way. Because Third Eye, as I said, as being an industry, he has been that guy that most of these rappers would look up to, like, you know what? I want to be like Third Eye. He was the knowledge of the game. Like, if you want to rap, you have to study what he does, you know? So, and I don't know, man. This dude, just as an industry, I can't picture or paint hip-hop in Malawi without Third Eye. You know, it's like Malawi and then extract the lake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Third Eye's contribution to the industry has to be that he's showing a lot of people that to be themselves, not following trends and whatnot, putting out music that he feels is what represents him. So I think that's the best thing for an artist to do, because it's way easier to keep doing it. Other than following trends, it's harder to replicate things that's not you. So yeah, I think that's the best thing that he's taught a lot of us.
You know, he went to school in Kenya, and when he came back in 2007, not a lot of people were rapping in English, you know. And he stepped in at a time where we're transitioning. So he's like, besides the linguistics and Marvel and them guys, Real Elements, he came in at a time where Chichewa was the only type of rap that was out there. He came in and he pioneered that as someone who raps in English, and he paved the way for a lot of us young cats who rap in English. So I feel like he was the transition from just rapping in vernac to mainstream English rap.
The best thing about Mandela Mwanza's character, like, I would go back to the same thing I've said, his heart. He has a very big heart. When he cares about you, he deeply cares. He is very loyal as well, I'd say that. He's very loyal to people. So, like, I've known him since I was 19, I think, which is about 6 years now. And we've had our ups and downs, but there's never been a day when I didn't feel like Mandela didn't have my back. There's never been a day when I heard that Mandela was saying something bad about me. So he's a very loyal person, and when he has your back, he has your back, and I think that's the best thing about him. Loyalty is very important to me, so yeah, that's the best.
How I felt about Mandela dropping from college in Kenya was quite devastating, because I remember that day I was attending a workshop in British Council. I got a phone call from one of the lecturers who was a Malawian lecturer, and he told me that your son is in my office. So he says he's dropped out from college because he would like to, pursue music. It was quite a big shock for me, because I'd just sent $100 that time for the school tuition fees. Yeah, so I actually knelt down and started crying, and my friends helped me to get up, and then I drove home, and people coming to see me as if I had lost somebody. I remember it was quite a very big blow for me, and the father here, having no speech. When I told him, he just brushed it out, as if it happens, something like that.
So yeah, that's how I got to know Bruce Wayne and Batman, all of them being one person. So the difference between Third Eye and Mandela Mwanza is the person. He's a philanthropist. He's the library guy. He's the books, knowledge. Third Eye is the MC, the ultimate MC.
It was when we just met, so we were probably closest then. I mean, we're still close, but yeah. So then he would just drive down, ask me what I want. Like, those times when I think I didn't have much money back then, so I'd be like, I want the shoes, and he would get me shoes. And there would be times when he would take me to Kujawe, and I think he paid for my first Lake of Stars trip. Yeah, so he was with his girlfriend, and they came down to Zombo at Kujawe, and they're like, oh, we're going to Lake of Stars. I'm like, I've never been. And they're like, oh, let's go. So yeah, that was my first Lake of Stars experience, paid for everything. So I think he just took me under his wing as his little sister. He didn't have to, but he believed in me creatively and always saw what I would become, and he was very respectful. And yeah, I think that's the first artist that I got close to that, well, I'd say never tried anything with me. Was just there as a friend. I really appreciated that, because every other artist that was coming at my space was a bit
I feel like a lot of people don't know that besides being someone so influential, he's quite a humble character, you know. Like I said, when you touch base with him, when you get to know the real him, you know, he's a great character, you know. He's got a big heart, you know, and he's gonna go out of his way for you, you know. He's that type of person, and I've seen it firsthand, you know. There's things that he's done for me, things that he's done for Class and a bunch of other people that will tell you the same thing. He's just a down-to-earth character, and a very giving person, very loving person, very considerate. And a lot of people never get to experience that because he's, you know, he has to be in game mode most of the time. But in real life, I just think he's a great guy. He's a humble guy.
My favorite character about Mandela is his probability of showing passion to others. He's a very loving child, you know, not child, a young man. He's a loving young man, and he cares about others. I see what he's done even when he was growing up, but even now that he's actually taken, when he gives. He likes giving. I remember one time that there was a street kid in city center whom with little something that he had from the house, he pledged to be helping him. He even went to school, and he can even give up his meal for others.
Like I said, he's the type of person that when he messes with you, he messes with you. So yeah, man, there's been times as an artist, right? He will call me up for, let's say he's got some deal to do. He'll call me up like, yo, I've got this going on. What are you going to charge? And I tell him the price, and then he'll be like, nah, man, I'm going to put it at this. You know, that type of person that he looks out for you. If he messes with you, he messes with you. That's that guy, man.
He's one of the realest persons I've ever known, you know? No sugarcoating, no additives. He calls a spade, a black heart a black heart. If it's black, it's black. If it's red, it's red. If it's green, it's green. There's no gray areas in between, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he always gives hope that there is going to be a tomorrow, even if that tomorrow is not going to be for us. But it's our duty to make sure that there is a tomorrow. So if we're smiling today, the tomorrow for tomorrow, who's ever going to be there tomorrow, should be a tomorrow where there will be smiling, like we're smiling right now. Yeah.
I think Mandela's greatest achievement so far is his passion for women and the youth. I know that he has a very strong passion for that, and I also read his concepts. You know, when he writes a concept about women and the youth, I feel that he's got very powerful message that he can actually, you know, send to, strong messages that he can send to the community. And I think he's achieved because so far he's worked with, you know, big corporate, you know, and stakeholders, that when he has his projects, he's quite been convincing, and the product has always been useful. and really important to disseminate certain messages that he's doing.
Behavior, I guess I would say, as a woman who is advocating for human rights and gender-based violence, some of the scandals in the recent past have made it hard for me as an individual to be able to advocate for what I advocate for and still stand by him as my brother. There's been questions from people I work with to say, but you know he did this, but you know he did that. Why are you not saying anything? And the truth of the matter is, and I've said this to him, is that I've never formed an opinion, because everything until what he's his girlfriend, everything that I heard before was just from this person and that person. I never formed an opinion by myself, because what I knew was the kind person that's here. And I'm hearing the stories and I'm like, okay, I believe them, they're true, but I haven't heard them from the people. So I was always giving that chance until we actually had the conversations ourselves. So I think that's made it hard for me in my human rights space and my advocacy work to be able to stand by him as my brother and to be able to still do my work and have people, because there's been people, actually there was a project I was working on and somebody was working with me and they said, I can't be on the same project where he is. And I now had to choose between the person and Mandela, and because I hadn't had the conversation with him, then I had to be able to go through that and say, okay, if you want to leave, you can leave. So it makes it dicey, because I mean, they're like, okay, you're advocating for gender-based violence. He is talking about that he beat his girlfriend. What's the situation? So yeah, that's made it really hard for me. Yeah.
Mandela Mwanza is the first meeting that we had, or the first day we met physically, where we were meant to just talk for what? What we're going to do musically, etc., etc. But we ended up talking for 15 hours. So from like that was 7 in the morning till about 7 at night, sorry, until about 10 a.m. the next morning, just talking through the night, just talking. That the project that we started planning ended up being something so much bigger, where we ended up doing songs with Black Mambazo, Ladies with Black Mambazo, the Grammy award-winning group. We did a song with them because I knew Joseph Shabalala from back in South Africa, back when I was doing my music back over there before I went over to the UK. And he was here for a show, so we linked up. I said, "Hey, you got to work with this kid," and he loved what he heard, and we did a track with them. We also did a Stevie Wonder track, which we remixed, and I sent it to their publishers, who I had a link with, and they absolutely loved it. The Jamming to the Break of Dawn track. We did various tracks, but the mentality of those tracks was formed through that conversation, and that's when I knew, here we've got a very special guy, very special guy, and that moment stayed with me forever. So that's one thing that I personally will never forget, because it also enlightened me about things, because not only was he listening to what I'm saying, he was also giving me advice, so he was not only a student, but he was also a teacher, and on so many levels, that I knew that this is the guy who's definitely, just touching the surface of what he's going to do in life, and it's turning out to be that way. And the journey's only just begun. It's going to go bigger and bigger and better, and the guy will be a legend. In 100 years, they'll be talking about Third Eye, Mandela Mwanza. In 200 years, they'll be talking about him here in Malawi. But it's very simple. He'll deserve every accolade that he gets.
It's been a long journey. Blood, sweat, and tears, literally. So many achievements, yet so many mistakes. So much joy, yet so much pain. Pain that people's doubts have caused to me, and pain that my lack of trust has caused to other people. I haven't been the best leader I've been, or could be. It's obvious. Everybody knows my stories, man. I do one thing the whole country knows. So, being 35 now, I'm feeling this is the perfect time to work with partners like the European Union for me to clean up my act and clean up everybody's act that I can. You get me? Try to move forward to a better place where we can secure a better future for everybody else coming after us. This is me, man. This is Third Eye. This is me becoming.
Today is a daylight, tomorrow. From now on, whatever we arrange should be focused on bringing about change. It feels like we free, but we trapped in the cage. This is me holding back my rage. Cross out the author and turn a new page. Cross over water and find a new place. If they don't like you, just wear a new face. Take it from a rapper getting minimum wage. Until I get paid, I'm on the next wave. The studio is much better than the rave. I'm in the office when I'm on stage. I'm in the office when I'm on stage. If you dream like a king, never think like a slave. If you don't have a mansion, better find a cave. Don't have the passion, leave it to the brave. Don't quit your day job today. Today is today. Today is a daylight. Yesterday was today, the other day. Today is a daylight. Tomorrow will be the next day. Today is a daylight. Yesterday was today, the other day. Today is the daylight. Tomorrow will be the next day. Today is the daylight. Yesterday was today, the other day. Today is the daylight. Tomorrow will be the next day. Today is the daylight. Yesterday was today, the other day. Today is the daylight. Tomorrow will
give up. People have tried, people have brought lots of things we never bring up. Like a spear, we're taking it up.